Chapter 91 Zhong's Great Harvest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, in the blink of an eye, 3 hours passed, and Lingquan was surrounded by female disciples. They all looked at Yilin in the center of Lingquan with shock on their faces. They soaked in this spiritual spring every day, but it didn't last more than 20 minutes at most. Although the spiritual spring was good, they had to be able to endure the pain. Yilin had been soaking for 3 hours at this time, which shocked them all. Master, do you think he will die? He hasn't moved for 3 hours. Yes, Master, how about we rescue him? He is a direct descendant of the Qinyan sect. If he dies in our bamboo sect. The female disciples around looked at Chu Shui and asked with worries on their faces. No, he is undergoing transformation. Listening to the advice of the disciples around her, Chu Shui just smiled slightly and sighed in her heart, Sister, you have gained a good disciple. With this perseverance alone, you have surpassed 99% of your peers. About there. Suddenly, Yilin opened his eyes, and the skin on his body slowly fell off, followed by clean, white and flawless skin, and this skin contains amazing defensive power. Even if the monks in the early stage of foundation building use martial arts, I can just use my body to resist. It's really too powerful. Feeling the strengthened skin, Yilin sighed inwardly, I'm afraid he is the only one who can speak like this. Even a master in the late stage of foundation building would not dare to say this if he simply used his body to resist the attack in the early stage of foundation building. What they are strong in is their cultivation, combat power, and spiritual power, not their bodies. After thinking about it, Yilin plunged into the spiritual spring and sank to the bottom of the lake. He looked at the shining spiritual fruit at the bottom of the lake, grabbed it and put it into the space ring. He had discovered this spiritual fruit a long time ago, so he could see it at a glance. After taking the spiritual fruit, Yilin jumped out of the spiritual spring, stood on the ground, and bowed respectfully to Chu Yu. Thank you, Senior, for the opportunity. No, you fought for it yourself. Now that you have succeeded, I will fulfill my promise. You just stay here for 1 night, and I will prepare it for you. All the bamboo sect can provide are resources. After Chu Shui finished speaking, she walked aside, leaving only a graceful silhouette for Yilin. Senior Brother Yi, how did you persist in the spiritual spring for such a long time? Senior Brother Yi, your skin is so white, whiter than mine. Looking at his jade-white arms, Yilin had a wry smile on his face, thinking that he had become a pretty boy. Senior Brother Yi, let's go, I'll arrange a place for you. At this time, Bixiao came over and said to Yilin. Okay, senior sisters, please take your leave. After bowing to the female disciples around him, Yilin struggled to get out of the group of female disciples and followed by Xiao. Isn't Senior Brother Yi not interested in women? He is such a strange person. I heard that he likes some men. It's a pity that Senior Brother Yi is so handsome. Looking at Yilin's back, a group of disciples started talking. Senior Brother Yi, you can rest here tonight. Master has said that you will be in the main hall at midnight tomorrow. Okay, I get it. Seeing Bai Xiao gradually walking away, Yilin turned around and walked into the attic in front of him. The interior decoration of the loft is very simple, with only a table and a bed. Tomorrow the Lin Zisheng will come to the bamboo sect, and then another large amount of resources will come into the account. However, there are not too many small forces within a radius of thousands of miles, and there are not too many small forces. As for the sect that only has the sect leader in the early stage of foundation establishment, there is no need to go, and it is useless to go. Yilin looked at the map in his hand and muttered to himself, the more masters a sect has, the more corresponding resources it will have. However, there is only one sect leader in the early stage of foundation building, and the rest are monks in the Qi training stage, so they just give up. It's a waste of time to go there, it's of no use. This Heavenly King's sect is pretty good, with a supreme elder in the late stage of foundation establishment and a sect master in the middle stage of foundation establishment. Looking at the Heavenly King's sect marked on the map, Yilin nodded and included this sect. Competing for the Holy Son of Qingyun sect will definitely not be that simple. I will ask Senior Chu Yu tomorrow. After that, Yilin put away the map and started practicing. Time flies so fast, in the blink of an eye, time passes overnight. On the second day, Yilin tidied up his surroundings and then walked towards the main hall. When they arrived at the main hall, they found that Chu Yu had been waiting for a long time. Senior. Well, this is half of the resources of my bamboo sect. I will give them to you today. In the future, my bamboo sect will close the sect and will not be able to provide you with any help. I hope you can take care of yourself. Chu Yu threw a storage bag to Yilin, and Yilin grabbed it. At a casual glance, I saw a pile of low-grade spiritual stones, 30 middle-grade spiritual stones, and various yellow-grade elixirs and spiritual fruits. Thank you, Senior. I would like to ask, Senior, do you know the process of competing for the Holy Son of Qingyun sect? That Yilin asked tentatively towards Chu Yu in front of him. Didn't Chu Shui tell you this? Chu Yu looked at Yilin with confusion. Master didn't tell me. Looking at Chu Yu's confused eyes, Yilin shook his head. It seems that he doesn't want you to be too ambitious. If that's the case, I'll tell you. The Holy Son of Qingyun sect is the future sect leader. This position is of great importance. To become the Holy Son, you need to go through 3 steps. The first step is to win people's hearts, which is what you are doing now. Try to expand your power as much as possible and let more people recognize you. After all, Qingyun sect suppresses the area within a radius of thousands of miles. The next sect master needs to be just like the emperor of a mortal dynasty appointing a prince. It needs to be legitimate. Chu Yu said, and Yilin kept it in mind. The second step is to compete in strength. This is also a very important link. I heard that there are 6 disciples of Qingyun sect, including you. As long as you defeat your 5 opponents, you will succeed in this step. After Chu Yu finished speaking, Yilin nodded. To become the son of Qingyun sect, strength is naturally the most important part. And the third step is to test your heart, to verify your heart of Tao, and to test your heart. And this step is also a very important step. If you don't pass this step, no matter how well you complete the other 2 steps, you can't become the son of the saint, because Qingyun sect can't let a cunning and evil person become the next sect master. What I said above is all. After Chu Yu finished speaking, Yilin nodded. Now he understood, becoming the Holy Son of Qingyun sect is indeed a complicated process, but it is also reasonable. After all, the Holy Son is the next sect master, and he must be cautious. Thank you for clearing up my doubts, Senior. Yilin bowed deeply to Chu Yu. Okay, leave now that you know. My Zhu sect will soon be in seclusion. Hearing Chu Yu's tone of driving people away, Yilin was not angry at all. He bowed to Chu Yu with a smile on his face, and then walked out of Zhu's sect. When he arrived outside Zhu's sect, Yilin turned his head and looked at Bai Xiao and Bai Hong. Brother Yi, goodbye. Goodbye. After saying that, the 2 sisters made a hand gesture, and the next moment, there was a loud noise, and the dense bamboo forest in front of Yilin began to change its position rapidly in front of Yilin, and then became normal. The route just now was directly erased. Formation. Judging from this posture, it must be a lower-grade Xian level. Yilin retracted his gaze, and then walked slowly forward with his hands behind his back. He is now waiting for a destined person who will travel thousands of miles to bring him an opportunity. Chapter 92 Giant Hammer Gate. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. What's going on? Who's behind this? In the sky, Lin Zisheng's face was extremely ugly. During this period of time, his fate had been extremely bad. Some time ago, I fell into a deep spring inexplicably, and just now I was driven into a deep underground valley by a late-stage foundation-building monster, and that deep valley was filled with disgusting monsters. We're at the bamboo sect ahead. According to Master, as long as I get the support of the bamboo sect, I won't be short of resources in the next year. I'm really looking forward to it. Lin Zisheng's face was full of longing, and he sped towards the front. As he got closer to the bamboo sect, Lin Zisheng became more and more excited. As long as he wins the Bamboo Sect, not only will he have no shortage of resources in the next year, but it is also said that the Bamboo Sect is full of women, which makes him extremely excited. Here we are, this is the location of the Bamboo Sect that Master mentioned, but why is it a little different? Lin Zisheng was suspended in mid-air on his flying sword, holding a map in his hand. While looking at the map, he looked at the bamboo forest below. After many comparisons, they couldn't compare. What's going on? Did you find the wrong one? Looking at the map in his hand, Lin Zisheng fell into deep thought, then glanced ahead, and his face suddenly froze. That figure was one he never wanted to see again in his life. On the ground in front of him, Yi Lin was leaning against a bamboo, looking at him with a smile. This figure lingered in his mind like a devil. "Senior brother, you're already here, why don't you come down and sit down?" Looking at Lin Zisheng in the sky, Yi Lin shouted loudly. Seeing this, Lin Zisheng could only bite the bullet and lower the flying sword. "Junior brother, long time no see." "Senior brother, it seems that we met yesterday." "It can't be said that we haven't seen each other for a long time." Looking at Lin Zisheng in front of him, Yi Lin smiled half-heartedly. "Junior brother, I have something important to do, so I won't talk about old times and take my leave." Arching his fist towards Yi Lin, Lin Zisheng would not be able to leave. "Damn, why? Why does he get one step ahead of me every time? Has he been following me all the time? Impossible. If he has been following me, then there is no reason for him to always walk in front of me. What is the reason? He seems to be in control of everything I do. Why? In a big mountain, surrounded by lush greenery and lush trees, but with loud noises, big trees fell down. Among them, a figure held a long sword in his hand and slashed around as if going crazy. For a moment, the entire dense forest was filled with sword energy, and everything was in chaos, and this figure is Lin Zisheng. After bidding farewell to Yi Lin, he found a place to vent his anger. No, calm down. After venting, Lin Zisheng forced himself to calm down, and then carefully thought about what happened recently. His whereabouts seemed to be under the control of Yi Lin, first the Tianshu sect, then the Shaoyang sect, and finally the Bamboo sect. Yi Lin was always there, and Yi Lin can get ahead of him every time, so what exactly is the problem? This made him very puzzled. Yi Lin was following him. It was unrealistic. If we really sorted it out, he was following Yi Lin, and here, watching Lin Zisheng leave in a hurry, Yi Lin smiled and shook his head. The young man was in a bad mood. He seemed to be on the verge of collapse, but if you think about it carefully, anyone who encounters this will collapse. But while looking at the panel in front of him, Yi Lin touched his chin and thought. Name, Lin Zisheng, cultivation level, middle stage of foundation building, fate, blue, disabled, numerology, mediocre luck, leader of swordsmanship, intelligence and spirituality, reincarnation of power, son of heaven. Destiny, stopped at the late stage of Yuanying, and was killed by a peak Yuanying monk during an adventure in a secret realm. Recent opportunity 1, 3 hours later, go to the giant hammer gate. Inside the giant hammer gate, ask the master of the giant hammer gate to take action. The master of the giant hammer gate takes out countless treasures, integrates the yellow-grade high-grade long sword into countless treasures, and forges it. Qingxian level lower grade, recent opportunity 2, under the statue of the Supreme Elder in the Great Hammer Gate Hall, I found a book of martial arts and refined it into a hammer. After practicing it, I became a first-level weapon refiner. Mediocre luck, there is a lot of luck with you. Good luck can often help you avoid danger when you encounter it. Powerful reincarnation, you are the reincarnation of a powerful person in the fairy world. After repeated setbacks, the soul of the previous life will awaken strongly at all costs when you break through the late stage of foundation building. At that time, you can practice in the future. Smooth sailing, son of heavenly destiny, the loss of fate will cause your luck to decline greatly. During this period, your luck will lead to a wave of counterattack. Looking at Lin Zisheng's panel, Yi Lin looked solemn. The numerology of the reincarnation of the great power has been lowered to the late stage of foundation building. It seems that someone is in a hurry. This also made Yi Lin's inner murderous intention intensify. It seems I can't keep you here. If another one wakes up immediately, I won't have anywhere to cry. Yilin secretly thought in his heart, if this is the case, then Lin Zisheng cannot stay. After the giant hammer sect bids farewell, Lin Zisheng will die, he must not allow Lin Zisheng to be beyond his control. Next, the hammer gate. After saying that, Yilin stepped on the long sword and flew into the distance. The giant hammer gate is not far from here. I don't know why Lin Zisheng arrived 3 hours later, but this is a big advantage for Yilin. According to Master's Mark, Giant Hammer Sect is a weapon refining sect, and the sect master is a third-grade weapon refiner who can forge yellow-grade top-grade weapons on his own. In terms of wealth, Giant Hammer Sect is also one of the richest sects, because it cooperates with major forces in the field of weapon forging. If I take down Giant Hammer Sect, it will be equivalent to strangling the necks of major forces. There is a Giant Hammer Sect and a Dan Valley. As long as I take down these two small sects, I don't need to worry about resources anymore. Looking at the map in his hand, Yilin thought in his heart, the Giant Hammer Sect is a sect specializing in weapon refining. It has cooperation with major forces and is naturally rich, but the sect master of Giant Hammer Sect only wants to work alone, and he has the capital, so even if he has been working alone, no one dares to touch the Giant Hammer Sect, because no one is stupid. Touching the Giant Hammer Sect is equivalent to touching the interests of several other major forces. The major forces are restraining each other, so although the Giant Hammer Sect is rich in resources, no one dares to touch it. The same is true for Dan Valley, a small force. The owner of the valley is a third-grade alchemist who can refine yellow-grade top-grade elixirs, which is the same as the Giant Hammer Sect, provides elixirs to major sects, and no one dares to touch it. Even Qinyan Sect does not dare to forcefully recruit the owner of the alchemy master into Qinyan Sect as a private alchemist. Zhuchuei Sect, we're here. Looking at the gate in front of him that is completely made of steel, Yilin's eyes lit up. The Giant Hammer Sect has not been attacked by evil cultivators until now, and the evil cultivators are not stupid. The Giant Hammer Sect is too important to the major forces. As long as they dare to move, the major forces will definitely take action. Yilin, a direct disciple of Qinyan Sect, specially came to visit the leader of the Giant Hammer Sect. Chapter 93 The Test from the Giant Hammer Sect's Leader. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. After waiting for about a minute, the huge iron door in front of him slowly opened, making a series of harsh sounds. I saw a shirtless man shouting and holding a big hammer in his hand. He came to the iron gate in a hurry and looked up. You said you are a direct disciple of the Qinyan Sect, do you have proof? Yelling shouted towards Yilin. Of course I have the credentials. Yilin slowly lowered his flying sword and stood in front of the big man. Then he took out the token from his arms and handed it to the man. The big man took it, looked at it carefully, and then returned the token to Yilin. I am the personal descendant of the sect master of Zhuchuei Sect. Hu Han-san, senior brother Yi, please come in. Hu Han-san bowed to Yilin and then pointed into the iron gate. Junior brother Hu, let's go together. The two of them walked side by side towards the inside of the iron gate. Senior brother Yi, how are you doing? How about our Giant Hammer Sect? Hu Han-san suddenly asked. Yilin pondered for a while and said slowly. Yes, the Giant Hammer Gate is surrounded by mountains on all sides, and there are such thick iron gates and iron walls on the outside to resist it. Even if the monks in the early stages of foundation building want to force their way in, it will be useless. Haha, senior brother Yi really has a keen eye and knows his roots. The walls and iron gates of the Golden City were all made by our Giant Hammer Sect. Because of this, the evil cultivators dare not infringe upon my Giant Hammer Sect. Hu Han-san laughed, seemingly extremely satisfied with Yilin's answer. Senior brother Yi, we're here. At this time, Hu Han-san introduced Yilin into a hut. Inside the hut, a strong-looking, muscular old man was pouring tea. Senior. Yilin bowed to the old man in front of him. Well, Xiao Hu, you can go out first, and I will catch up with the Qingyun clan. The old man looked up at Hu Han-san and said. Yes, master. Hu Han-san bowed to the old man, then patted Yi Lin on the shoulder and walked out. Sit down. The old man pointed, and Yi Lin sat on a wooden stool and took the teacup handed to him. Thank you, senior. Yi Lin slowly took the teacup. Yi Lin, on the other hand, was holding a teacup and studying the old man in front of him. Why did he become more and more familiar with this old man? Fellow Taoist, you've been staring at me since I first came in. What's wrong? Is there something wrong with my face? Zhang opened his mouth and asked Yi Lin, his old face full of displeasure. The person in front of him has been staring at his face since he entered the door. If it were a woman, he might be in a good mood, but the person in front of him is a man. This couldn't help but make him murmur in his heart, could it be that this Qinyan sect descendant has some special hobbies? No, Senior has misunderstood. When I look at Senior's face, I feel an inexplicable sense of familiarity, as if I have seen him somewhere. Hearing this, Yi Lin immediately came back to his senses, shook his head and said. Ha! Have you seen me? I have been in this giant hammer gate for more than 20 years. It is impossible for us to meet. By the way, Senior, dare I ask you your name? I'm Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi stroked his beard and said slowly, hearing the name, Yi Lin came back to his senses. He had gone to Sun Moon City to forge a long sword before, and happened to meet an old man who was a first- and second-grade weapon refiner. His name was Zhang Si. Could it be that these two people were related in some way? The memory of a cultivator is extremely terrifying. Even if it is just a brief encounter, after a few years, if you want to recall it, you can easily recall it. Senior, do you know Zhang Si? After Yi Lin finished speaking, Zhang Yi's expression changed drastically, and he suddenly pulled off his beard, which made him burst into tears from the pain. But he ignored the pain and immediately looked at Yi Lin. Have you met my brother? Zhang Yi grabbed Yi Lin and looked extremely excited. Senior, calm down. Yi Lin hurriedly held down Zhang Yi and pushed Zhang Yi back to his original place. I once met a first- and second-grade weapon refiner in Sun Moon City. His name is Zhang Si, and his face is somewhat similar to yours. After Yi Lin finished speaking, Zhang Yi's expression became even more excited. Is that my brother in Sun Moon City? Okay, I will get up and go to Sun Moon City to find my brother tomorrow. Seeing Zhang Yi's excitement, Yi Lin felt helpless and then sat aside. I already know the purpose of your coming here. I just want to ask a question. How confident are you in this battle for the Holy Sun? Zhang Yi, who forced himself to calm down, asked Yi Lin calmly. The battle for the Holy Sun requires winning the hearts of the people. If these small forces seek refuge with any personal successor, they must give their full support, but once the personal inheritance they support fails, although they will not be liquidated, all the previous efforts will be in vain. No small force can bear this huge price. Small forces already lack resources, and coupled with the loss of a large amount of resources, they are likely to be wiped out. The Maimen here were not killed, but the sect ran out of money and went bankrupt. After hearing Zhang Yi's words, Yi Lin nodded. The reason why the previous sects turned to him without hesitation was entirely because he defeated the evil spirits and saved their sections. As for the bamboo sect, he has the connections. This giant hammer sect is different. People don't have to be afraid of evil cultivators. Evil cultivators don't dare to touch others. At this time, they start to discuss interests with you. Senior, I am 100% sure about the battle for the Holy Sun. Yi Lin said with certainty. I believe you will definitely say this. Who can participate in the battle for the Holy Sun and who is not 100% sure of himself? I am at the peak of foundation establishment, and you are in the middle stage of foundation establishment. If you can take my blow, I will fully support you. Our giant hammer sect may not be strong, but our resources are enough to rival the 4 major sects and the 4 great families. Yi Lin was convinced of this. The third-grade weapon refiner was the only one in front of him within 1,000 miles. If the major forces want to give their disciples weapons, they need to ask Zhang Yi for help. Over the years, the wealth of the giant hammer sect will be an astonishing figure. Okay, I promise, senior. Yilin slowly stood up and looked at Zhang Yi in front of him. If you have the guts, do it here. There is no need to go through so much trouble. Be careful. Suddenly, Zhang Yi's eyes condensed, and his spiritual power surged. His clothes burst, revealing his brass-like skin, which was covered with muscles and full of oppression. Boom! Zhang Yi raised his palm as big as a palm fan and hit Yilin's chest with one palm. Facing the attack of a peak foundation building cultivator, Yilin did not dare to be careless at all. Tiger roars in the forest. Accompanied by a fierce tiger roar, a fist and a palm collided with each other, a violent shock wave spread in all directions, and the tables and chairs on the side were blown into powder. Tap, tap, tap. Yilin's face changed, and he hurriedly retreated 7 or 8 steps to barely stabilize his body, while Zhang Yi did not move at all. Without the 3 powers of the Dao platform, spiritual roots, and phoenix fire, I have no power to fight back against the peak of foundation building. With a palm, Yilin quickly analyzed his current combat power. If the firepower is fully opened, the peak of foundation building can fight with it, and the late stage of foundation building can be slaughtered at will. As for the same realm, it is no longer within his consideration. Phoenix fire, 5th grade Dao platform, 5 elements spiritual roots, these 3 heaven-defying blessings, the same realm does not take into account at all. Good boy, you can actually withstand my attack without changing your face, no wonder you can confidently say 100% sure. Chapter 94, Refining Equipment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking at Yilin who stabilized his figure in front of him, Zhang Yi was filled with admiration. It was the first time he had seen someone who received a blow with 7 points of his strength in the middle stage of foundation establishment and remained calm. Okay, since you caught one of my moves, I will fulfill my promise. As soon as Zhang Yigang finished speaking, the wooden door behind Yilin exploded instantly, and Hu Han was seen holding a sledgehammer in 3 hands, with a nervous face. What's wrong, master, what happened? Go out. Seeing Hu Han-san like this, Zhang Yi touched his head and felt a headache. This kid is good at everything, but his brain is missing. Oh. Hu Han-san glanced at the messy environment around him suspiciously, glanced at Yilin, and walked out slowly. Now, it's time for me to fulfill my promise. Before you become the Holy Sun, our giant hammer sect can provide you with 10 medium-grade spiritual stones and 300 low-grade spiritual stones for you to cultivate every month. Hearing this, Yilin was slightly surprised in his heart. This giant knocking on the door must have such a rich family. The resources Zhang Yi mentioned are available every month until he competes to become the Holy Sun. The total resources provided by them add up to a huge amount. Sure enough, monopoly means making money. By the way, senior, I have something I need your help with. Yilin suddenly thought of something and took out the long sword from the space ring and placed it on the table. A low-grade Xian-level long sword, not bad. Zhang Yi picked up the long sword and flicked his index finger slightly. Suddenly, the long sword trembled and made a series of sounds. As a 3rd-level weapon refiner, it is easy for him to forge high-level yellow-level weapons, but it is very difficult for him to forge black-level weapons. After all, he had only successfully forged 3 low-grade Xian-level weapons in his lifetime. At this time, Yilin took out the black gold and the golden mysterious metal and placed them in front of Zhang Yi. Seeing the black gold, Zhang's eyes narrowed slightly. Of course he recognized the black gold. Just the black gold, which was just as big as his palm, was already worth a lot of money. When he saw the golden metal again, Zhang Yi's face was filled with doubts. Even though he was a 3rd-grade weapon refiner, he still couldn't recognize this thing. Little friend Yi, what is this thing? Zhang Yi pointed at the golden metal and asked Yilin. I don't know either. I want to show it to senior. I do not know either. Zhang Yi looked confused. Just when he wanted to touch his beard, he realized that his beard was gone. Senior, do you think you can integrate these 2 things into the long sword? Yilin asked Zhang Yi tentatively. Black gold is fine, but I don't know whether it's metal or not. However, as long as it's metal, it can be melted. In that case, please senior, please melt this thing for me. At this time, Yilin took out the broken sword and put it on the table. The moment he saw the broken sword, Zhang Yi turned pale with shock. He could tell at a glance that this was an earth-level spiritual weapon. How precious are earth-level spiritual weapons. He dares to guarantee that no matter what sect or force within a radius of thousands of miles, it is impossible to possess earth-level spiritual weapons. A monk at the early stage of the Golden Core stage holding an earth-level spiritual weapon could defeat the middle stage Jindan stage. If other major forces had earth-level spiritual weapons, they would have defeated the Qingyun sect long ago. If the Qingyun sect had earth-level spiritual weapons, they would have suppressed the other major dissatisfied forces long ago. This shows how precious earth-level spiritual weapons are. Young friend Yi, where did this thing come from? Zhang Yi asked Yilin with a curious look on his face. When he saw Yilin's eyes that were half smiling but not smiling, Zhang Yi felt suddenly and abruptly, heroes don't ask where they came from, treasures don't ask where they came from. Asking someone rashly about the origin of their treasure is tantamount to breaking a taboo. Look at my brain. When Yi Xiaoyu takes it out now, he wants to melt this earth-level spiritual weapon and then merge it into this long sword, right? Senior is right. What I mean is that I want to integrate all three of these things into the long sword. After Yilin finished speaking, his eyes lit up. He had never done anything so exciting in his whole life. He has only managed to refine 3 low-grade Xian-level weapons in his lifetime, and just like that, he is treated as a guest by all the major forces, and the 3 things in front of him are more powerful than the other. If he succeeds in refining them, then his level as a 3rd-level weapon refiner should be improved. Xiaoyu Yi, I'm not sure about this. There is a certain failure rate. Do you think you can accept it? After pondering for a while, Zhang Yi asked Yilin. He was not sure enough about this thing. If it failed, not only the 3 treasures would be destroyed, but also the Xian-level low-grade long sword. The combined real value of these 4 items was more precious than his entire giant hammer sect, and he couldn't afford to pay for it. It's okay, Senior, just try your best. If you fail, I won't blame Senior. Seeing Zhang Yi like this, Yilin shook his head and said, now the most authoritative weapon refiner in the surrounding area is Zhang Yi, and he has no other choice. He could see that Zhang Yi was also very eager for this. If he rejected Zhang Yi directly, it would probably chill people's hearts. If it fails, just fail. Okay, since Xiaoyu Yi values me so much, then I will try my best to forge it successfully. Seeing that Yilin believed in him so much, Zhang Yi said confidently, then picked up all the treasures and walked towards the weapon refining room, followed closely by Yilin. Arriving at the destination, Zhang shouted and flames ignited on his hands. Yilin took a closer look and saw that it was the Huangjie spiritual fire. Only those with spiritual fire can enter the industry of refining weapons or alchemy, because most of the treasures of heaven and earth cannot be damaged by ordinary fire even if they burn for days and nights. Give it to me. Zhang Yi roared, and the flames directly wrapped the long sword. The blade and hilt of the long sword were slowly melting, turning into drops of fiery red liquid. Refining. Zhang Yi stretched out his hand again, and a ball of flame enveloped the black gold. It took Zhang Yi 5 minutes to melt 2 treasures. The upper limit of Huan-level spiritual fire was very low, and it was still a bit reluctant to melt Xian-level treasures. Zhang Yi, who had been refining 2 treasures in a row, was sweating profusely. It was obvious that he could no longer hold on any longer. Seeing this, Yilin held down Zhang Yi's shoulders and injected pure spiritual power into Zhang Yi's body. Zhang Yi cast a grateful look at Yilin, and then refined the golden metal. He must not stop during the refining process. Once it stops, all the efforts will be lost. And 5 minutes passed, 10 minutes passed, 10 full minutes passed, and the golden metal showed no sign of melting, and Zhang Yi was so anxious that he was sweating profusely. Just now he was surrounded by joy, but now the thought of it made him break out in a cold sweat. He is only a 3rd-level weapon refiner, and the spiritual fire is only yellow level and cannot melt earth-level things at all. Young friend Yi, this golden metal is of a high grade. It is definitely not a mysterious thing. My spiritual fire cannot melt it. How about integrating the black metal into the long sword first? Senior, don't panic, I'm coming. At this time, Yi Lin activated the phoenix fire in his body and directly wrapped the golden metal and the broken sword. In front of the phoenix fire, the two earth-level treasures quickly turned into liquid. Okay, it's my turn. When Zhang Yi saw this, his face was overjoyed, and he made a hand seal with both hands. The four liquid masses in front of him began to slowly merge. Zhang Yi's hands were as fast as lightning, and he made hand seals one by one. All treasures are naturally repulsive to each other, so if you want to fuse them together, you have to rely on the unique skills of the weapon refiner. Weapon refining is often not as easy as it seems on the surface anyway. It's not as simple as melting the treasure and merging the liquids together. Chapter 95 Killing Lin Zisheng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As time went by, Zhang Yi was sweating more and more, and his face was full of exhaustion. If Yi Lin hadn't been using spiritual power to instill it into his body, maybe he wouldn't be able to hold on anymore. It's done. Looking at the ball of fiery red liquid in front of him, Zhang Yi's face was full of excitement. Then he pinched it out with a hand, and the entire sword embryo was completely formed. Next, it's forging. Zhang Yi reached out and took the sledgehammer beside him, dragged out a wooden box, opened it, threw items in it, and struck it over and over again with the sledgehammer. The entire weapon refining room was filled with the sound of metal hitting. The refining process lasted for 2 hours, and a long sword was completely formed. Zhang Yi inlaid a fiery red gold stone on the hilt of the sword and released the entire long sword into the water. Along with a huge wave of air, a high-grade Xian-level long sword was forged. I didn't expect that I would be able to build this high-grade Xian-level weapon in my lifetime. If there are a few more items, this long sword might be able to reach the pseudo-earth level. Looking at the long sword in his hand, Zhang Yi's face was full of excitement. The pseudo-earth level means that it already has the hardness and characteristics of the earth level, but does not have the spirit. Compared with the real earth level, it is still a little bit behind. Thank you, Senior. Yi Lin took the sword, thanked Zhang Yi, and played with it in his hand. The more I look at it, the happier my heart becomes. It is a top-grade Xian-level treasure and a priceless treasure. You don't need to thank me. You have half of the credit for the success of this training. Zhang Yi waved his hands and said indifferently. Although it is a pity not to create a fake ground level, it is enough. Your long sword only needs 3 more Xian-level treasures, and then you can find a 5th-level weapon refiner to make it, and it will definitely become an earth-level spiritual weapon. Hearing this, Yi Lin smiled bitterly in his heart. A 5th-grade weapon refiner had a status comparable to that of a nascent soul cultivator. How could he meet him now? Even if he did, he would ask a 5th-grade weapon refiner to take action and wipe out all his wealth. Not even taking a look. Lin Zisheng, a direct disciple of the Qingyun sect, came to the giant hammer sect to pay a special visit. Please meet him. Just as the two were chatting happily, there was a sound outside the door, which resounded throughout the giant hammer gate. Yi Lin and Zhang looked at each other. It seems that my senior brother is here. Master, please wait here for a moment while I go to deal with it. Yi Lin raised the corners of his mouth and walked out. After finishing speaking. Watching Yi Lin leave, Zhang Yi shook his head and walked away. At this time, the entire giant hammer sect disciples looked up at the figure in the sky and started talking. Qingyun sect's family history. Didn't someone come here? What does he do? I don't know. We haven't seen a single person from our giant hammer sect for several years. I didn't expect that 2 members of the Qingyun sect came today on the same day. What a coincidence. Seeing the people below talking about each other, Lin Zisheng felt a sudden change in his heart. The monks in the foundation building stage sense how terrifying it is, and they can hear it clearly even from a distance of 1,000 meters. Isn't it possible that that guy Yi Lin got the better of him again? Lin Zisheng's face was extremely ugly, and he was muttering in his heart, Yi Lin has now completely become his inner demon, the kind that can never be exorcised in his life. Until a figure appeared, Lin Zisheng was completely desperate. It's him again. Why him again? Why is it him every time lately? And why does he seem to know what I'm thinking and always be 1 step ahead of me every time? Senior brother Lin, we meet again. Why don't you come down and sit down? Looking at Lin Zisheng in the sky, Yi Lin shouted loudly, looking at Yi Lin. Lin Zisheng didn't even bother to say hello, turned around and left. Name, Lin Zisheng, cultivation level, middle stage of foundation building, fate, blue, disabled, numerology, mediocre luck, leader of swordsmanship, intelligence and spirituality, reincarnation of power, destiny, stopped in the middle stage of Yuanying, and was killed by a peak Yuanying monk during an adventure in a secret realm. Recent opportunity. After the soul awakens, immediately go to the Demon Valley and search for the treasures hidden in the Demon Valley for the purpose of rising in the previous life. Mediocre luck. There is a lot of luck with you. Good luck can often help you avoid danger when you encounter it. Powerful reincarnation. You are the reincarnation of a powerful person in the fairy world. After repeated setbacks, the soul of the previous life will wake up after an hour at a huge cost. Looking at Lin Zisheng's panel, Yi Lin's eyes narrowed and he chased Lin Zisheng's back with his flying sword. Now, Lin Zisheng absolutely couldn't stay. After an hour, his soul came to his senses, and if he continued to play, he would collapse. What's more, the numerology of Lin Zisheng, the son of heaven, has also disappeared, which means that Lin Zisheng's value to him is no longer great. Why? Why can he always be one step ahead of me? Why? In the sky, Lin Zisheng almost collapsed and roared towards the surroundings. What? Feeling a strong sense of oppression coming from behind, Lin Zisheng immediately turned his head and found that Yi Lin had chased after him with a flying sword. Lin Zisheng stopped and turned to look at Yi Lin. Why? 3 simple words, full of helplessness and despair. You do not need to know. Yi Lin's whole body was burning with phoenix fire. He looked at Lin Zisheng and shook his head lightly. It's not that easy to kill me. Lin Zisheng looked calm and slowly lowered his flying sword, followed closely by Yi Lin. The two came to a jungle and looked at each other. All around, fallen leaves were falling, and the sky was filled with dark clouds. In just a few minutes, snowflakes fell one after another, and the snowflakes landed on their shoulders. There was a chilling atmosphere in the air. And the animals that were spending the winter around were so frightened that they hurriedly ran away with their hands on their shoulders and bowed. Rumbled. At this time, bursts of thunder came from the sky, as if God was roaring, cheering for this war. Boom, along with a thunderous thunder, the frequency of snowflakes falling became more and more rapid. There is also more and more snow on the ground. Stab. Suddenly, Yi Lin moved, and the long sword in his hand was as fast as a poisonous snake, and he struck directly at Linzi's holy face gate. The reversal of yin and yang. Lin Zisheng let out a soft drink, and the snow on the ground suddenly flew into the air, with sword aura flowing horizontally and vertically. Jingle, there was just a crisp sound, and the two long swords suddenly collided together, and the surrounding snow was instantly shaken away. 3 swords of life and death, 1 sword of yin and yang, cutting. In an instant, the white light on Yi Lin's long sword flowed, and the sword stabbed towards Lin Zisheng's face door. At the same time, a black long sword appeared silently behind Lin Zisheng. A sword cuts through the heaven and earth, a sword opens the sky and cuts it down. Lin Zisheng roared angrily, raised the long sword in his hand and slashed at Yi Lin with extremely powerful force. Boom, the 2 long swords clashed, and Yi Lin took a step back. The next moment, a black long sword penetrated Lin Zisheng's abdomen silently, causing blood to flow out. It's impossible. The sword cuts the heaven and the earth. 1 sword opens the sky. Cut it for me. As the black sword dissipated, Lin Zisheng suddenly became confused. He endured the pain and activated his martial arts skills, and struck Yi Lin with his sword. Everything in the world must die. Life is a right given by the world, death is a right deprived of by the world. Then, on behalf of the world, I will deprive you of your right to live. At this moment, Yi Lin seemed to realize something. He closed his eyes and faced Lin Zisheng's fatal blow. 3 swords of life and death, 1 sword of death. Chapter 96, Ending the Cause and Effect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Poof, hearing the sound of a long sword entering his body, Lin Zisheng held up the long sword with a face full of disbelief, and slowly lowered his head and looked at his body. How can it be? that Yilin pulled out the long sword. Lin Zisheng's pupils were blurry. The long sword in his hand fell to the ground with a crisp sound. He half knelt on the ground and looked at Yilin with wide eyes. Death with a sword and unsheathing of a long sword represents death. Die. Yilin snorted coldly and slashed towards Lin Zisheng's head with his sword. The next moment, a terrifying spiritual power enveloped Yilin, and Lin Zisheng looked at Yilin with distorted features. Shu Zi, you dare! Following a huge roar, Yilin put the long sword against his chest and retreated quickly, sliding for about 7 or 8 meters before he came to a stop. At this time, Lin Zisheng stood up slowly, exuding an aura of desolation, eternity, and loneliness. Revival of memory. Die. Seeing the drastic change in Lin Zisheng's temperament, Yilin's whole body burned with phoenix fire, and the 5-element brand on his right arm circulated. He mobilized all his spiritual power and punched out. Tiger roaring mountain forest. Accompanied by a fierce roar of a tiger, a punch was struck towards Lin Zi's holy face door. No, the great method of yin and yang reincarnation. Lin Zisheng made a hand seal, but before he could finish it, Yilin's fist came to his face and punched out, causing his whole head to explode. The headless body fell to the ground, bleeding profusely. Phew, almost. Looking at Lin Zisheng's body, Yilin breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't expect that this thing could wake up before dying, but now, everything is over. Looking at the ring on Lin Zisheng's right hand, Yilin stepped forward and took it off. After finishing, Yilin threw a flame at Lin Zisheng's body, and immediately, the entire flame turned into ashes. Seeing this, Yilin turned around and left. After burning the body's safety point, what if the great master of the immortal world comes alive again? Who can be absolutely sure about this? If he is given a whole life and he survives, there will be no place for him to cry. Now that everything is gone, he doesn't believe that the great power of the immortal world can be reborn out of thin air. I didn't expect this kid to be quite rich. Looking at the space ring in his hand, Yilin smiled. The treasures placed in it include spiritual stones, elixirs, precious medicines, and weapons, ranging from yellow level to Xian level. Lin Zisheng still has a lot of accumulation. Although it is a little worse than him, it is still a huge amount of money. Moreover, there are also resources contributed by various major sects, so now it's all his. After putting the treasures in his space ring, Yilin casually threw the space ring into the jungle at his feet. Unless the nascent soul stage overhaul takes action, the space ring cannot be destroyed at all. After arriving at the giant hammer gate, Yilin walked straight towards the main hall. He did not forget that there was a true tool refining solution in the main hall. Above the main hall of the giant hammer sect, there is an old man with muscles all over his body enshrined, and this old man is the founder of the giant hammer sect, and he was once a 4th-grade golden elixir stage weapon refiner. My friend, are you finished? Beside the main hall, Zhang Yi walked out with a smile on his face. He is very old and has seen many things. Of course he knows what Yilin is doing. As for the battle between the Holy Sun and direct disciples fighting against each other, the Qingyun sect acquiesces and either does not participate. Once you participate, you are an enemy. If you die, it will be because you are not strong enough. It's dealt with. Yilin nodded towards Zhang, walked towards the statue, took 3 incense sticks, lit them and placed 3 sticks of incense towards the statue. While Zhang Yi was not paying attention, Yilin put his hand into the soul of the statue. He took out a yellowed book and then put the book into the space ring. All this happened so fast that Zhang Yi didn't notice it at all. The purpose of this trip has been completed. I'm leaving. After finishing everything, Yilin bowed to Zhang Yi one by one. Okay, go ahead, I'm still waiting for you to be the Holy Sun. Zhang Yi said with a smile on his face. Then I wish you can find Senior Zhang Si as soon as possible. After Yilin finished speaking, he stepped on the flying sword and flew away into the distance. Now that I have conquered the giant hammer sect, if I take the alchemy valley into my pocket, then I will return to the sect and start retreating. After thinking about his scenario clearly, Yilin murmured, if he takes both the giant hammer sect and the pill valley into his pocket, then there will be no need to worry about the other forces at all. First of all, his resources are enough, and all he needs to do is to improve his own strength as the first priority. Once his strength increases, he doesn't have to worry about resources at all. Secondly, two very important forces have become his own. He will definitely win this level. One giant hammer gate is enough to be worth 7 or 8 other small forces. I don't know where the Demon Valley is. The treasures hidden in it are the treasures left by the immortal world. There must be a lot of shocking martial arts and resources in them. Looking at the map in his hand, Yi Lin didn't see the so-called Demon Valley. There was only one explanation for it, which was that the Demon Valley was not within a radius of 10,000 miles. The map given by Master is only a map with a radius of thousands of miles. When I break through the Golden Elixir stage, I will definitely go find the Demon Valley. Yi Lin clenched his fist. He was very greedy for the things in the Demon Valley. The location of the Alchemy Valley is a canyon with only one entrance, surrounded by mountains. Without a map, it is impossible to find the location of the Alchemy Valley. Today's demon cultivators are so unbridled. Yi Lin looked down at the village below, his face gloomy. I saw a river of blood flowing in a village, without a single living person in it. Various corpses and mummies are placed everywhere. Along the way, he has seen no less than 10 such scenes. The evil spirit has been severely injured. Does it urgently need blood to heal its wounds? Yi Lin pondered in his heart. The evil cultivator was driven by evil spirits, and he still underestimated the influence of evil spirits. A mere demon in the middle stage of foundation building can actually cause chaos in an area thousands of miles away, causing several major forces to have huge headaches. After all, the temptation of the word immortality is fatal to some people. In the blink of an eye, Yi Lin arrived at the place where Dan Zong was. There was only a dilapidated wooden door in front of him, surrounded by white mist, and the entire Dan Valley was extremely quiet. This made Yi Lin check the map carefully before he was sure that he was not going wrong. At this time, the sword light flashed, and a figure stopped steadily beside Yi Lin. Li Miaoling was seen standing beside Yi Lin with her hands behind her hands, staring at the wooden door in front of her. Junior brother, I think you should not think about Dangu's attention, because this thing belongs to me. Li Miaoling spoke slowly, with a cold tone, as if she was a different person. Sister, you have no say in this. Yi Lin shook his head and said that they are now in a competitive relationship. Since Li Miaoling is like this, he is also happy. Are you really so disobedient? Li Miaoling suddenly turned around, surrounded by sword energy, and her murderous intent was fully displayed. Senior sister, do you want to have sex with me here? Facing this monstrous sword energy, Yi Lin's expression did not waver at all, and his tone was extremely calm. Seeing this, Li Miaoling in front of her also gradually put away her momentum. Snort. Li Miaoling snorted coldly, sheathed her flying sword and her whole body fell lightly to the ground. Walking towards the wooden door of Dangu, Yi Lin followed behind. Chapter 97, Dan Valley. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. Name, Li Miaoling, Cultivation Level, Middle Stage of Foundation Building, Fate, Purple, Numerology, Covered by Luck, Pure Body, Leader of Swordsmanship, Destiny, Stop at the peak of Yuanying, and finally die in the hands of the powerful masters of the Demon Clan in the God Transformation stage. Recent opportunity. On the way back to Qingyun's Sect 2 days later, I passed by Fenghuang Ridge. In the valley of Fenghuang Ridge, I discovered a low-grade spiritual fruit, the Nirvana fruit. Luck-ridden, you are the luckiest person and the darling of luck. Good luck can always help you avert danger when you encounter it. Innocent body, it is naturally suitable for cultivation. There are no impurities in the body. There are no bottlenecks in cultivation. Kendo leader, you always have a better understanding of Kendo than ordinary people, and you can always make rapid progress in Kendo. Looking at Li Miaoling's panel, Yi Lin touched his chin. The Nirvana fruit, a low-grade spiritual fruit from the Xian order, was just right for Xiaohong to eat. Li Miaoling pushed open the wooden door in front of her, and the two of them walked all the way towards the deep valley. The further they walked in, the thicker the white mist around them became. As they walked, they could no longer see anything in front of them. Suddenly, Li Miaoling, who had been in sight, disappeared and completely disappeared from perception. This white mist is just an ordinary mist. The Alchemy Valley marked by Master is here, and it must be not far away. Seeing Li Miaoling disappear, Yi Lin's expression did not waver at all. As we walked, the surrounding fog gradually thinned, and what came into view was a deep valley, with caves opening up on the surrounding cliffs. There were figures wearing white robes sitting in the cave, and in front of these people, there was an alchemy furnace. A direct disciple of the Qingyun sect has arrived, please forgive me for not being far away to welcome him. An old man with a white beard appeared in the sky, stroking his long beard and looking at Yi Lin kindly. Yi Lin, a direct disciple of the Qingyun sect, pays homage to the senior. Yi Lin immediately bent down and bowed to the senior in front of him. Senior, I came in with my senior sister, where is she? Yi Lin said to the old man above that Li Miaoling disappeared, which meant that he had come in, but looking around, he could not find Li Miaoling. Ha ha ha, your master has spoken to me. That girl has no chance of joining my Dan Valley. The old man with a white beard slowly stood on the ground, stroking his beard and smiling. Hearing this, Yi Lin felt warm in his heart. It turns out that the master has already taken care of himself, so Li Miaoling has been sent out by the senior in front of her. My little friend, how about following me to visit my Dan Valley? Certainly. An old man and a young man walked like this in Dan Valley. Along the way, Yi Lin's eyes were opened. There are no special buildings in the Alchemy Valley, only caves opened on the cliffs. Each disciple has an independent cave. My little friend, my Pill Valley can refine 300 low-grade yellow-grade elixirs and 100 middle-grade yellow-grade elixirs in one day. As for the high-grade yellow-grade elixirs, there must be at least 10 pills in a day. So, do you know the price of the elixir? Hearing this, Yi Lin was stunned. He really hadn't paid attention to the price of the elixir, because his elixirs were either awarded by his sect, obtained by completing tasks, given by his master, or obtained by snatching opportunities from others. Senior, I don't know, Junior. I don't know, that's right. A low-grade yellow elixir costs 1 first-grade spiritual stone. A medium-grade yellow elixir costs 5 low-grade spiritual stones. A high-grade yellow elixir costs 15 low-grade spiritual stones. Hearing this, Yi Lin smacked his lips. According to this calculation, Dangu's daily income was about 1,000 low-grade spiritual stones, which made him a little moved. This thing is hugely profitable. While Yi Lin was thinking, the old man in front had not yet finished speaking. As for the selling price minus the cost, our Alchemy Valley can earn 80% of the pure profit from it. And our Alchemy Valley has been around for 100 years. What do you think of the background of our Alchemy Valley? The old man turned around and looked at Yi Lin with a smile. The Dan Valley has a profound foundation, and I admire you from the bottom of my heart. The purpose of what I say is that our Dangu now lacks nothing. As for benefits, there is no shortage. As for expansion, as long as my Dangu gives an order, countless disciples will immediately squeeze their heads and want to enter my Dangu Valley. And the fact that you can allow your master to come to me in person means that she values you very much. There is a high chance that you will be the future holy son or even the leader of the Qingyun sect. I am also very happy to be able to make friends with the future saint's son and even the future master of the Qingyun sect. So, I give you 2 paths, you can choose yourself. First, I will teach you the complete explanation of alchemy. As for whether you can step into the path of alchemy, you need to understand it yourself. Second, I will give you half of the resources of my Alchemy Valley. When you become the Holy Son, you will need to help our alchemy sect become one of the top forces within a radius of thousands of miles. Hearing this, Yi Lin thought in his mind, half of the resources in Pill Valley are undoubtedly the most attractive. Over the years, the resources accumulated in Pill Valley are undoubtedly an astronomical figure. Even if he divides half of it, it will be enough for him to break through to the golden elixir stage. However, he was eager to make alchemy. As long as he learned how to make alchemy, it would be beneficial to him in the future, and if there is a shortage of elixirs, there is no need to spend a lot of money to buy them. After thinking about it, Yi Lin spoke to the old man. Senior, I want to refine the alchemy to get it all. Ha ha ha, there's no need to call me senior. My name is Dan Qingzi. You can call me by my full name. This disciple of Chu Shui is really extraordinary. There are not many who can keep their original heart under such a huge temptation. Follow me. Dan Qingzi laughed. He said so much before. His purpose was to test Yi Lin's heart. If Yi Lin chooses the second one, he will agree without hesitation, but Yi Lin's position in his heart will also decline infinitely. After choosing the second one, there is no doubt that Yi Lin has no chance with the Holy Sun. Greedy, he can't pass the third level of the Holy Sun assessment. Just think of it as returning a favor to Chu Shui, but Yi Lin's choice surprised him greatly. Yi Lin followed Dan Qingzi to a small temple. Dan Qingzi took out a small wooden box from under a statue, blew away the dust on the small wooden box, and then slowly opened it. An ancient book was placed in it. Boy, this is the treasure of my Dan sect that has been passed down for 100 years. I will only lend it to you for 1 year to comprehend. After 1 year, you must return it to me. Dan Qingzi held the book in both hands and slowly handed it to Yi Lin. Seeing this, Yi Lin also looked very cherished. Dan Qingzi's words meant that this book was the treasure of Zong. He did not dare to be careless and hurriedly took it with both hands. Don't worry, senior, I will keep it well. After a year, whether I succeed or fail in my comprehension, I will return it. Okay, I feel relieved with your words. Hearing this, Dan Qingzi nodded with satisfaction. Then Yi Lin put all the solutions to alchemy into the space ring. Okay, you go and do your own thing. I still need to comprehend the 4th grade alchemist. Thank you, senior. I wish you to enter the 4th grade alchemist realm as soon as possible. Yi Lin bowed to Dan Qingzi. Alas, the 4th grade alchemist is so difficult. My master, when he passed away, could not break the mystery of the 4th grade alchemist. Chapter 98 Retreat. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking at Yi Lin's back, Dan Qingzi sighed slightly. I was promoted to a 3rd-level alchemist 30 years ago. Now, 30 years later, I am still a 3rd-level alchemist. I want to follow in the footsteps of my master. After leaving the Alchemy Valley, Yi Lin went straight to the Qinyan sect. He wanted to go back to retreat. Now that he had conquered the 2 important forces of the Alchemy Valley and the Giant Hammer sect, it would be a waste of time to conquer other forces. As for helping them resist evil spirits and save them from fire and water. Oh, that's not what he should do. Is this the Phoenix Ridge? According to legend, it is the place where the phoenix fell. Looking at the huge mountain forest in front of him, Yi Lin slowly walked into it. The name Phoenix Ridge comes from someone saying that this Phoenix Ridge is the place where the phoenix fell. Just listen to this. In the valley, the fruit of nirvana. Yi Lin stood in the valley, looking around with his eyes. Suddenly, Yi Lin's eyes lit up and he saw a bright red fruit growing on the cliff in the distance. Yi Lin stepped forward, picked off the fruit and put it into the space ring, then stepped on the flying sword and flew towards Qinyan sect. After 3 hours of traveling, Yi Lin flew straight towards Dufeng. When I arrived at Dufeng, I looked around and found no trace of Chu Shui. When I arrived at my residence, I just opened the wooden door and found Chu Shui sitting in the center, drinking tea. Master. Yi Lin cupped his hands and bowed. You're back. How was your harvest this time? Chu Shui looked up at Yi Lin and then said. Shaoyang sect, Tiandao sect, Giant Hammer sect, Dangu, and Bamboo sect have all promised to fully support me this time. But thank you master for your help. But master, it seems that Zongzhu of the Bamboo sect is your sister. After saying that, Yi Lin raised his head and glanced at Chu Shui. Yes, she is indeed my sister, so I won't tell you more about it. Now that you have the help of the 2 major forces, Pill Valley and Giant Hammer sect, you will pass the 1st level. As for the 2nd level, just 1 year later, enter the Dragon and the Tiger. You still have to prepare a lot. Hearing this, Yi Lin nodded. Although he was now confident that he could defeat the other 4 direct disciples with full firepower, he should never underestimate your competitors before he really gets the results. You have been my master for so many years, but my master has not taught you anything. Today, I will teach you a martial arts skill. After speaking, Chu Shui took out a book and handed it to Yi Lin. Yi Lin bowed his hands respectfully. picked it up and looked at it, and saw 3 big characters written on it, God-controlling art. This martial arts book is just a fragment, and its grade is middle grade Xian level. The other fragments are scattered everywhere. If collected, the true grade will only be higher, not lower. Looking at the Yusheng in his hand, Yi Lin was slightly shocked. It was just a fragment, and its grade had already reached the mid-level Xian level. If it were a complete Yusheng, would its grade be as high as the sky? Okay, take it and practice it hard to prepare for the fight between the dragon and the tiger in a year. After Chu Shui finished speaking, she left Yi Lin's residence. After all, she was under great pressure now, because in the past, when the Holy Sun began to select the Holy Sun, the sect master personally issued it, but now, this order was given by her alone. Since the sect leader insists on stubbornness, she will wait for the new saint's son to come to power, and then she will take care of the sect leader, and then the saint's son will successfully become the sect leader. At that time, no matter what others want to say, it will be of no use. After Chu Shui left, Yi Lin went straight to his residence on the 3rd floor with Yusheng in his arms, sat cross-legged on the bed and slowly opened Yusheng. After reading the entire book of God-controlling techniques, he was even more surprised. This God-controlling art was actually a spiritual martial skill, but an attacking spiritual martial skill. The God control art in your hand is divided into 3 levels. After each level is practiced, a god will be engraved in the soul to condense a god, which is similar to a spear. After practicing to the 3rd level, 3 can be condensed. When the 3 spears are released, they directly hit the enemy's soul. Even in the middle stage of foundation building, these 3 spears can kill an enemy in the late stage of foundation building. So powerful. After finishing the review, Yi Lin only came to these 3 words. Yi Lin took out the beast control bag from the space ring, opened it, and a fiery red figure flew out with fluttering wings. Hey! Xiaohong flew around Yi Lin with a face full of joy, and made a high-pitched chirping sound from her mouth. It seems that Xiaohong has almost recovered. Looking at the aura on Xiaohong's body, Yi Lin thought to himself, after all, it was a young beast, and the blood essence and blood lost were not that precious. If it were an adult beast, it would take hundreds or even thousands of years to recover even a drop of blood essence. Xiaohong, has there been any change in your bloodline inheritance? Yi Lin asked Xiaohong. The lineage of mythical beasts has inheritance in their blood, which are peerless treasures given to them by their elders. Yi Lin, on the other hand, has always been coveting Xiaohong's phoenix desire heaven art. Lin Zisheng only got a fragment and already reached the top level of the heaven level. What he was waiting for was the complete one. This is also the reason why he has been practicing the Xian level low-grade star technique until now. A monk can only practice the natal technique once in his life, and it must be below the nascent soul stage. Each method operates in a different way. By the nascent soul stage, the meridians have already been formed. By that time, unless you practice San Gong again, you will never be able to switch to cultivation. Ba, ba, ba. Xiaohong screamed at Yi Lin several times. Although she couldn't understand it, Yi Lin also understood the general meaning, that is, Xiaohong must break through to the nascent soul stage before she can awaken her bloodline inheritance. Nascent soul stage. There is no bottleneck in the cultivation of the divine beast clan, and the cultivation speed is faster than that of the human race. As long as there are enough resources, they can keep breaking through. And I am currently in the middle stage of foundation building, and Xiaohong is at the peak of foundation building. There is enough time. After thinking everything through, Yi Lin began to sort out his treasures, and all those that were useless to him were pushed to Xiaohong, 300 low-grade spirit stones, 10 medium-grade spirit stones, and all yellow-grade elixirs and precious medicines except the very important ones, and all nirvana fruits. Seeing Xiaohong excitedly holding the resources and walking into the beast bag, Yi Lin sighed slightly. So many resources are still not enough. Originally, there were many gold swallowers in his body, and now Xiaohong has been added. When Xiaohong awakens the blood inheritance, I will be able to obtain the complete phoenix desire heaven art. At that time. After doing everything, Yi Lin began to practice with his eyes closed. The spirit stones were placed around his body, and spiritual power poured into his body. During the period when Yilin was practicing, the other 4 disciples returned to the sect to start retreat and adjust their status. The third elder Song Changsheng waited and waited, but he didn't see Lin Zisheng. Finally, he thought of a terrible fact: Lin Zisheng was dead. After thinking carefully, Song Changsheng locked onto a person, Yilin, and then angrily went to Chu Shui to seek justice. In the end, he was almost slapped to death by Chu Shui, and fled back to the third peak in a very embarrassed manner to retreat honestly and ignore worldly affairs, watch the water flow east in the morning and the sun set in the evening, in the blink of an eye. 10 months passed in a flash. That day, Yilin suddenly opened his eyes, and an extremely majestic momentum spread around, and countless buildings around him exploded into powder. Chapter 99 My name is Wang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Later stage of foundation building, it's done. Yilin's face was full of surprises. In the past 10 months, he not only broke through to the late stage of foundation building, but also became a first-class alchemist and a first-class weapon refiner. What is even more worth mentioning is that the Tiger Roaring Forest has also entered the 3rd level. Shinjue also successfully entered, with the terrifying numerology bonus of understanding and communicating with the gods. He often only needs to read the so-called complete solutions to alchemy and weapon refining to understand the meaning. Look how my panel is doing. Name, Yilin, cultivation level, middle stage of foundation building, fate, white, numerology, plain and unremarkable, understanding and enlightenment, fate, stopped at the early stage of the golden elixir, and was eventually killed by the evil demon. Recent opportunities, none, mediocre, just like ordinary people. There are no highlights. Intelligence and enlightenment, the understanding is transcendent, and it is extremely fast to comprehend various exercises. For the same exercise, it takes others 3 months, but you only need a few days. There are no big changes on the panel. He was still killed by the golden elixir stage demon. Seeing his fate, Yilin shook his head. It seemed that the golden elixir stage demon was quite strong. If my calculation is correct, 10 months have passed now, and the fight between the dragon and the tiger will begin in 2 months. But 10 months of seclusion has exhausted all my resources. Yilin was a little speechless. Those resources combined were enough for an ordinary monk in the foundation building stage to break through to the golden elixir stage. But what about him? Just by raising a small level, an extremely huge amount of resources have been consumed. He took out the beast-controlling bag from the space ring and looked along the beast-controlling bag. He saw Xiaohong lying on the ground sleeping, and the aura on his body became more and more terrifying. Xiaohong is breaking through the golden elixir stage. After watching for a while, Yilin spotted Ni Duan. Xiaohong's aura kept rising, which made him envious. Human monks are extremely cautious every time they break through a major realm. If they are not careful, they may die. Look at the mythical beasts again. They naturally break through after just sleeping. It's really incomparable. In the blink of an eye, 10 months have passed, and I don't know what the situation is now. After cleaning up everything, Yilin muttered, then opened the wooden door and walked out. As soon as I walked out of my residence, I came to the edge of Dufeng and looked down. From here, you can see the entire Qinyan sect. In the outer sect of Qinyan sect, there were blood-stained figures everywhere, while in the inner sect, every disciple had an anxious look on his face, and his gown was stained red with blood. Seeing this, Yilin's expression changed. What happened? Is the evil demon attacking Qinyan sect? After observing for a while, Yilin walked towards the mission pavilion. If he wanted to know what happened, he had to ask Sun Shao. This guy manages the mission pavilion and is a well-informed group. As soon as he walked into the mission pavilion, he noticed that Sun Shao was sweating profusely. Junior brother Sun, what happened to the sect recently? Yilin stepped into the mission pavilion and sat on the table beside him and asked Sun Shao in front of him. Sun Shao, who was busy, suddenly stopped what he was doing, and immediately raised his head and looked at Yilin with bright eyes. Senior brother Yi, are you out of seclusion? Yilin looked at Yilin with bright eyes. Senior brother Yi, you don't know that many major things happened during your retreat. The evil demon is massacring the city, and 3 major sects and 4 major families are obstructing it. They seem to be making some secret deal with the evil demon, making it difficult for people in the surrounding area to live, and tens of thousands of people die every day. Seeing this, the resentment is soaring to the sky. The gate of our Qingyun sect is almost broken down by those mortals and monks from small forces. Moreover, the sect leader is indifferent to this matter. In the end, the 10th elder gave the order forcefully. All outer disciples and inner disciples went down the mountain to eliminate demons and kill evil cultivators when they saw them. However, the losses are quite heavy. Now our Qingyun sect strength has been greatly reduced, and the 9 inner sect elders are indifferent to this. As he spoke, Sun Shao sighed, his face full of exhaustion. Hearing this, Yi Lin was greatly surprised. He did not expect that such a big thing would happen during his period of seclusion. The evil spirits began to cause unscrupulous killings, and several major forces could not bear it any longer and put pressure on Qingyun sect. The 9 elders of the inner sect remained silent. Has the situation reached this point? By the way, senior brother Yi, these are the resources that Shaoyang sect, Tiandao sect, Dangu, and Giant Hammer sect have given you over the past 10 months. Sun Shao took out a few cloth bags from the side and handed them to Yi Lin. Yi Lin reached out and took them. They were filled with spiritual stones and spiritual fruits, as well as several high-grade yellow-level weapons. Where are the other 4 great descendants? After a moment of silence, Yi Lin raised his head and asked. The other 4 major descendants left the mountain a month ago. Hearing this, Sun Shao said slowly, then took out a few tokens from behind and placed them on the table. Senior brother Yi, how are you? These tasks are the most difficult and the most rewarding. You see. Looking at the tokens handed over by Sun Shao, Yi Lin reached out to take them and frowned as he looked at the tasks above. The first mission, the 7th grade mission. Qingshan City has become a dead city. Please kill all the evil cultivators in Qingshan City and be rewarded with 10 medium-grade spiritual stones. The second mission, the 7th grade mission. Sun Moon City was massacred by evil cultivators. Please kill all the evil cultivators in Sun Moon City and you will be rewarded with 10 mid-grade spiritual stones. The third mission, the 7th grade mission. Xianyong City was massacred by evil cultivators. Please kill all the evil cultivators in Xianyong City and you will be rewarded with 10 medium-grade spiritual stones. What made Yi Lin frown was not the number of evil cultivators, but the fact that these cities were all under the jurisdiction of the Qingyun sect. There is no such thing as a city under the jurisdiction of other major forces. I took over these 3 tasks. That's great, senior brother, you are really my great benefactor. Seeing Yi Lin taking the task, Sun Zhao's face was full of excitement. After taking over the task, Yi Lin walked down the mountain. He wanted to understand the extent of the current situation. It would be better if he could meet disciples from other forces, just the opportunity to plunder a wave of them. Arriving at the foot of the mountain, Yi Lin walked straight towards Qingshan City. At this time, Qingshan City was extremely silent. The entire city was stained red with blood, and there was not a single living person in the city. Do you think Yi Lin will come here? In the main hall of the Qian family in Qingshan City, a middle-aged man looked at the fat little Wang gang beside him, and this Wang gang was one of the descendants of the Qingyun sect. Hearing this, Wang gang sneered. I have been investigating Yi Lin for a long time. On the surface, he is not very good, but in fact, he is extremely arrogant. The Qingyun sect now only has 3 7th-level tasks left, and I just received the news about Yi Lin. After leaving seclusion, he walked towards the task pavilion. I must have exhausted all the resources when I made the breakthrough, and now I want to take on a mission to get some resources. Their target must be those 3 7th-grade missions, and one of them, the closest one, is Qingshan City. I believe he will definitely come here. Wang Gang said with a sneer on his face. He had already studied Yi Lin thoroughly. What if the mission he chooses happens to be something other than Qingshan City? At this time, the middle-aged man on the side asked Wang Gang again. Chapter 100 Wang Gang's Wisdom. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Elder, don't worry. Firstly, Qingshan City is the closest. Secondly, there are no living people in Qingshan City, only evil cultivators. The best thing in front of him is Qingshan City. There are living people in the other two major cities. If he fails to complete the task and runs away, it will definitely leave a big stain. But Qingshan City is different. Even if he fails to complete the task, he can still run away. There is no one there anyway. See. As long as he is not mentally retarded, he will definitely choose Qingshan City. After Wang Gang's analysis, the middle-aged man nodded. Are you sure that Yilin is in the middle stage of foundation building? Elder, don't worry. Yilin was in the middle stage of foundation establishment 10 months ago. Now he is only in the late stage of foundation establishment. Elder, you are at the peak of foundation establishment. What are you afraid of? Wang Gang looked at the elders of the Li family in front of him, his face full of doubts. A master who is at the peak of foundation building is afraid of a junior who is in the middle stage of foundation building. So what if he is in the late stage of foundation building? It can still be held with one hand. Okay, in that case, I will help you deal with Yilin. Afterwards, when you become the Holy Sun, don't regret the 10% mining right of the spiritual mine. Hearing this, Wang Gang patted his chest confidently. Don't worry, since I promised you, I will never break my promise. Yilin, wait to die. Wang Gang sneered inwardly. The reason why he targeted Yilin was because Yilin's position as the Holy Sun had actually been determined. Yilin has won the support of Dangu and the Giant Hammer Sect. He knows this, and Yilin's master, the 10 elders, can already openly suppress the sect leader and issue orders directly. As a disciple, Yilin has already been appointed. Even if he wins, how can he be the opponent of a golden core monk? People can crush him to death at will. This made him come up with such a plan, that is, to kill Yilin. However, as long as Yilin is solved now, then he will be the next Holy Sun. After all, there is more to him than meets the eye. However, on the other side, Yilin looked at the mummies around him and the faint smell of blood in the air, and then at the blood stains on the ground that had not yet dried up. A trace of warmth and anger flashed across his face. What this evil cultivator has done is outrageous to both humans and gods. From the time I came in until now, I haven't found that evil cultivator at all, but since it is written on the mission, it means that there must be an evil cultivator entrenched in Qingshan City. Forget it, let's look around first. Yilin began to circle around. Haha, my Li family really did not misjudge the person. In a small alley, Elderly looked at Yilin's back and laughed, while Wang Gang on the side looked proud. Who are you? Wang Gang. Now that we know his location, let Xia Xiu first explore his true identity. Wang Gang said extremely cautiously, then took out a black bead from his arms, threw it towards Yilin's back, and pulled Elderly to hide inside. What? Sensing the movement, Yilin quickly turned around and saw a black bead rolling towards him. Yilin picked up the bead and put it in his hand. Magic beads. Looking at the bead in his hand, Yilin frowned. Isn't this the same magic bead he encountered before? Someone wants to frame me. Who is it? Sensing the rapidly approaching auras around him, Yilin touched his chin and thought. Those auras exuded a strong demonic aura. At first glance, they were evil cultivators, but they were just a few miscellaneous fish in the early stages of foundation building. It turns out he is a high disciple of the Qinyan sect. Kill him. Several black shadows rushed out from the corner and rushed towards Yilin. Swordsmanship, cutting. Yilin shouted softly, but saw that there was no movement on his body, and the bodies of the men in black were already in different places. Humph. You're just a few little miscellaneous fish in the early stage of foundation building. I'm in the middle stage of foundation building. It's easy to kill you. Looking at the corpses, Yilin's face was full of disdain, the corners of his mouth raised, and he laughed wildly. I'll kill a few of these little miscellaneous fish in the early stages of foundation building. After Yilin finished speaking, he walked towards the distance with his long sword. It turns out that we are in the middle stage of foundation building. This old monk can kill several of them with one slap. Looking at Yi Lin's back, Elderly said with disdain. Then why don't you hurry up? What are you waiting for? Wang Gang pushed Wang Zhongliang and urged. Ha ha ha, okay, then I'll get on board, just watch out. Elderly touched his beard and laughed. Then a long knife appeared under his feet, and he stepped on the long knife and chased Yi Lin. Junior in front, stop. Elder Li's aura at the peak of Foundation building was clearly revealed. With a loud roar, Yi Lin's steps suddenly stopped. Who are you? Looking at the old man in the sky, Yi Lin was full of doubts. He was pretending just now to lure out the person who framed him, but he didn't know this old man at all. Could it be that he has awakened some kind of physique that attracts hatred at will? Did he want to kill him whenever he saw him? Don't worry about this. You just need to know that I am the one who wants to kill you. After Elderly finished speaking, he pointed towards Yi Lin confidently. Suddenly, a golden shadow of a finger rushed towards Yi Lin. With this blow, he used 50% of his strength, which could instantly kill all the mid-level Foundation building monks. Pity. In his eyes, Yi Lin was just a dead person, and then he touched his beard and turned to leave. Are you kidding me? Yi Lin shattered the attack with a sword and said coldly to Elderly. Is that possible? Looking at the intact Yi Lin, Elderly was full of doubts. Doesn't he have some secret treasure? After thinking for a while, Elderly stood on the ground and slashed at Yi Lin with a long knife. Domineering, kill. Elderly roared angrily, jumped into the air with his whole body, held the handle of the knife in both hands, and struck Yi Lin's head with the knife. 3 swords of life and death, 1 sword of life. Seeing this, Yi Lin didn't dare to be careless. After all, the person in front of him was at the peak of Foundation building. He should be serious and give others some face. Jingle, the 2 weapons were put together, creating a huge wave of air. The skill of wielding a sword is like a rainbow piercing the sun. Yi Lin took 7 or 8 steps back to stabilize his body, then made a gesture with his right hand and pointed towards Elderly. The long sword in his hand turned into a sword light and rushed towards the front. The speed is like lightning in the night sky, fleeting, poof. Hearing the sound of a long sword sounding like a body, Elderly looked at his broken arm in disbelief. The sword was so fast just now that he didn't even react. How is it possible? The sword-controlling skills of the Tianjian sect? Aren't you a direct descendant of the Qinyan sect? How is it possible that you know the sword-controlling skills of the Tianjian sect? Elderly stepped back and pointed at Yi Lin with his other arm. Old man, let me give you a chance to live. Who is the person behind you? Yi Lin used demonic shadow and punched Elderly in the chest. Elderly flew backwards and knocked down 3 layers of earth walls before he could stop. Explain. Yi Lin stepped on Elderly's chest and looked at the old man in front of him. Humph, even if I say it, I won't be able to survive, right? Seeing Yi Lin like this, Elderly snorted coldly. Anyone who is not a fool knows this situation. Even if he tells it, he will not be able to escape death. You are a smart man, but if you say it, I can give you a treat. If you don't say it. It just so happens that I have recently developed a new spiritual martial skill that I haven't tested yet. I'd like to test it on you. After Yi Lin finished speaking, Elder Li's pupils shrank.